Ready.
Hey friends, we are the Study Buddies. Welcome back to our channel. In today's video biology edition, we will be learning about the second biomolecule, which is lipids. Lipids, or commonly known as fat, is a very vital biomolecule needed by all living organisms. As you can see the picture on the left, it shows a simple pure fat molecule. Lipids are insoluble in water due to their hydrocarbon chain. This is because they are non-polar molecules and are unable to form hydrogen bonds in water to dissolve in it. These three circled areas in the picture shows the hydrocarbon chains in the lipid molecule. These hydrocarbon chains are responsible for the insolubility and non-polarity of lipid molecules in water. Now, let's look at the general functions of lipid molecule. Firstly, lipids act as long-term energy storage. This is due to the long hydrocarbon chains in the lipid molecule, which stores enormous amount of energy in it. Once digested, these hydrocarbon chains release a lot of energy needed by the body. Secondly, lipids make up structural components in the cell membrane by providing physical stability to the fluid-like membranes. Thirdly, lipids help in heat retention by insulating the body and preventing heat dissipating from the body as well. Next, lipids, or usually in the form of cholesterol, are found on plasma membranes to help in cell communication and regulation. Lipids also provide protection to vital organs such as heart and liver by covering and cushioning them from external shock. Now, let's look at the varieties of lipid molecules. Firstly, we have a triglyceride molecule, or commonly known as fat. This triglyceride molecule is in its saturated form, meaning that there are no double bonds in the molecule. Next, we have the same triglyceride molecule, but this time it is known as oils. The difference is, this molecule has double bonds in it, which makes it an unsaturated fat. Next, we have a unique type of lipid which is called phospholipid. We'll learn more about this phospholipid further in the video. Wax is also a type of lipid that is commonly found in nature, usually in animals and also plants. And lastly, we also have steroids, which is also a type of lipid. Now, let's talk about our very first type of lipid molecule, which is triglycerides. As you can see the picture on the left, a triglyceride molecule is made up of one glycerol and three fatty acid molecules. These triglycerides can be subdivided into fats, which originates from animals, and oils, which originates from plants. The difference between fats and oils can be seen in the fatty acid molecules of these two products. What you are looking here is called a saturated fat. Let's look at the different parts in this molecule. In the middle part of this molecule, we have what is called a hydrocarbon chain. A hydrocarbon chain only has long chains of carbons and hydrogens in it. At one end of this molecule, we have a methyl group, and at another end, we have a carboxyl group. This fatty acid molecule has no double bond in its hydrocarbon chain. This means all the carbon atoms in its molecule have been occupied by hydrogen atoms, which makes this a saturated fatty acid. Therefore, a triglyceride molecule that has saturated fatty acid is known as fat. Fats are solid at room temperature because they have high melting point. Fats are mainly originated from animals, and some of the products are such as butter and also beef fat. This picture shows another type of fatty acid in triglycerides called unsaturated fatty acids. This middle portion in this molecule is exactly the same as in saturated fatty acid, except for this hydrocarbon chain has double bonds in it. Because of this fatty acid having double bonds present in its hydrocarbon chain, it is called an unsaturated fatty acid, meaning that there are carbon atoms that have empty spaces for hydrogen atoms in this molecule. The double bonds present in this type of fatty acid creates what we call a kink, or commonly known as a bend in this molecule. This prevents close packing, hence this type of triglycerides can only be found in the form of liquid. Therefore, triglycerides with unsaturated fatty acids are commonly known as oils. They are usually liquid at room temperature because they have low melting point. This type of triglycerides can mainly be found in plants, and some of the examples of this product are such as canola oil and also corn oil. Next, unsaturated fat can be subdivided into cis fat molecule and also trans fat molecule. Both fat molecules have double bonds in their hydrocarbon chains, but the difference is cis configuration means two hydrogens at the double bond are on the same side of the molecule, while trans configuration means two hydrogens at the double bond are on the opposite sides of the molecule. The significant differences between cis fat and trans fat are cis fat is commonly found in nature and also promotes good cholesterol, or commonly known as high density lipoprotein, while trans fat needs to be industrially produced via a chemical process called hydrogenation and promotes bad cholesterol, or what we call low density lipoprotein. Now, let's look at a brief summary about the triglyceride molecule we have been discussing so far. First off, we have saturated fatty acids which have no double bonds in them. Triglycerides with saturated fatty acids are known as fats and mainly originate from animals. This type of triglyceride is solid at room temperature because it has high melting point. Fats are usually associated with circulatory disorders such as hypertension and atherosclerosis because they tend to be deposited at blood arteries and causing them to be narrowed down. Next, we have the unsaturated fatty acids which have double bonds in them. Triglycerides with unsaturated fatty acids are known as oils and mainly originate from plants. They are liquid at room temperature due to their low melting point, and generally they are good for one's health. Following that, we are now going to learn about synthesis of triglyceride via dehydration reaction. If you have seen my previous video on Introduction to Organic Molecules, you must have noticed that lipids have two monomers called fatty acids and also glycerol. So when these two monomers combine via dehydration reaction, they release 3 mol of water molecule and also 1 mol of triglyceride. As for the degradation of triglyceride molecule via hydrolysis reaction, the exact same process is reversed, whereby one triglyceride molecule combines with 3 molecules of water to produce 1 glycerol molecule and 3 fatty acids. Moving on from triglyceride molecules, we rather have a unique type of lipid which is called phospholipids. Phospholipids are exactly as same as triglycerides, but instead of 3 fatty acids, they only have 2 fatty acids, 1 glycerol and also 1 phosphate group which replaces the third fatty acid. A unique characteristic of this molecule is that it has a hydrophilic or water-loving head and hydrophobic or water-fearing tail. As you can see in the picture, the internal and external environment of a cell is made up of water. These phospholipids are usually found at the plasma membrane of cells. So what happens is that the hydrophilic tails are usually oriented towards the watery environment. As for the hydrophobic tails, they are usually arranged away from the watery environment because they do not like the water. So what happens is that these phospholipids tend to arrange themselves in a way, as you can see in the picture, and become what we call a phospholipid bilayer. These phospholipids act as gatekeepers at the plasma membrane of cells by making the plasma membrane partially permeable to organic substances. Lastly, the presence of kinks or bends in the fatty acid of these phospholipid molecules are responsible for the fluidity of plasma membrane. Next, we have another type of lipid which is called steroids. Steroids composed of 4 fused carbon rings. Each type of steroids have different functional groups attached to them. There are several varieties of these steroids such as cholesterol and also steroid hormones such as testosterone and also estrogen. Now, let's take a look at this picture. This is a picture of a phospholipid bilayer as mentioned earlier. The circled area shows pieces of cholesterol embedded in this phospholipid bilayer. In the cell membrane, cholesterols provide physical stability to the fluid-like membrane. They also act as precursor for other steroids or sex hormone. So two examples of these steroid hormones can be testosterone and also estrogen. So what cholesterol does that? It helps in producing these two hormones in one's body. And these two steroid hormones have profound effect on our body and also sexuality. Last but not least, the final type of lipid we are going to learn about is called wax. Waxes are generally long-chain fatty acids connected to carbon chains containing alcohol group. Some of its characteristics are, it is solid at room temperature and also waterproof. Some of the uses of waxes are, the cuticle on plants contains waxes that prevents water loss. Honeybees usually use beeswax to make honeycombs for them. And lastly, the earwax in our ears contains a compound called serotonin that repels insects and also traps dust. And now, let's quickly recap what we have learned so far in this video. In this video, we learned about 5 different types of lipid molecules. The first type of lipid we learned is fat. The second type is called oils. Fats and oils are generally called triglycerides. The only difference is, fats do not have double bonds and oils have double bonds in their fatty acids. The third type of lipid is called phospholipids. The next one is called steroids. And the last type of lipids is called wax. As for the general functions of lipids act as long-term energy storage in animals and also plants. They also make up as components of plasma membranes in the form of phospholipids. Lipids also provide stability to cell membranes and acts as precursor for hormones. Last but not least, lipids provide protection and also prevent water loss. And with that being said, that is the end of this video. Thank you everyone for watching this video. We really hope it would be helpful for you. If you like this content and want more videos in future, do like, share and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to be reminded of new videos in future. Thank you everyone. Take care.